fun to acquire.
I don't think I'd do David Johnson and Tyler Lockett, though. That feels like too much.
No,
yeah,
that seems like a little much, but
I agree.
In that case, I would downgrade the running back offer.
Right, yeah.
Try to balance it.
All right, so my number one, definitely not a buy low. He's the RB1 so far. It's Aaron Jones. I think there's an opportunity to have people think, well, he's not this good. It's not going to last. And he's not going to score. What's he on pace for? 32 touchdowns? He's probably not going to score. I agree. He's probably not going to score 32 touchdowns. I can see a world where people are calling Aaron Jones a sell high because Aaron Jones had a lot of doubters this summer. A lot of people who just said, well, when does he ever make it through a season healthy? And those touchdowns are never going to come back. And he's just a satellite back. And I just, every time I watch him play, I go, no, he's not. I grant you, he's not prime Adrian Peterson. He's not a 300 carry guy. I agree, but he plays an awful lot and he's just very good. I showed a couple of YouTube plays this week where he made great catches. He had a crazy great blitz pickup that got a long gain that he just, little guy stoning somebody. They didn't used to trust him in those situations. This is the theory. This is the ponies for a horse theory. Obviously, you're going to have to pay to get Aaron Jones. I'm just saying I'm willing to do it to get who I think if I'm doing the rest of the season ranks, and by the way, I am, we'll see how this weekend goes, but Aaron Jones is in my top 5 running backs. I think he's my top 5 overall, isn't he?
So maybe like a Jones for Jones thing? Like if you had Julio, you'd give him up to get Aaron?
I mean, the problem is Julio's hurt.
The
right?
injury,
so,
yeah. But that's kind of why he'd be, I don't know.
Well, I have a theory. I have a thought. I have Austin Eckler,
sure.
who's been good. He had and got drafted before in most leagues. Got drafted before Aaron Jones, but is in the same neighborhood. But I'd be willing to do it. So I'll do Austin Eckler and Tyler Higbee.
Okay, two solid starters and kind of That's kind of what it would take. Like that's, or maybe even a little bit more, but not really. I mean, I agree with you that there's an idea of of these windows that he's coming off this great start and maybe now is the time. And so that's what you have to navigate with these players. On a much smaller level, the James Robinson theory, meaning it's now the time to move him that he had a great game. Jones has been doing this for 2 years, so it's not really as much of a question. But my point is, somebody might be caught up thinking that. So
that's right.
It's not the worst.
It's the same thing as James Robinson, but it's opposite because at least I'm taking the opposite tack, which is I don't really believe that much in James Robinson. I've got him on teams. If someone would want to buy them for a lot, I would probably sell him. Otherwise, I'd be very happy. He's not a must sell or anything. I'm happy to soak up that volume, and it's cool. He's okay. But with Jones, it's the exact opposite. I want someone else to feel that way. Like, oh, this is prime time. He'll never be worth more to trade, and I would. Personally, I would trade for him. All right, so those are I know not in your league, but those are our trade for candidates. Now we're going to do, shifting gears, we're going to do a reunion of the Harris Football After Party, but I'll host it. Even because Jim was the best host for that show. People don't remember that show, Jim, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I got offered money to work with the UFC afterwards, which is weird.
You did? Are you being serious?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that's the pipeline of talent is Anik to.
Right. Oh, I get the joke now. Yeah, it went for that's right because Anik hosted it at first. It was called Harris After Dark for the first year, and then for 2 years we did Harris. It was a handicapping show. It was a separate handicapping show, and I just ran out of time. YouTube became a thing, and I was like, I don't have time anymore. Not enough people listen to it. Okay, so we have this bookmaker contest I mentioned off the top of the show, and Jim, you're now going to be in it as of this week.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And so we want people to go to bookmakercontest.com, and you have to open a offshore account. It stinks that we can't play domestically, all of us. Jim can. You live in Pennsylvania. You live in an enlightened state, but I can't.
Yes.
I'm in California.
Oh, yeah. Yes. The enlightened state of Pennsylvania.
Right.
You don't get that often.
Right. But so I took on Bookmaker as a sponsor specifically because I wanted a place where we could all play, and they decided they would give us this $5 contest, which is very cool. You can find out about all the details about how to do this at bookmakercontest.com. I already mentioned that this week 3 in the Bookmaker contest, it's $5 to enter. You have to fund a Bookmaker account to do this, and then they will give you instructions about how to join the pool, but you pick them all against the point spread. All except the Thursday night game. And anybody who beats me this week, Jim, gets a $10 credit into their Bookmaker account.
That's $10 for everybody. Let's do it.
Except for you want me to be bad. So everybody listen to my picks and do the opposite. I didn't do so well last week. I think I might have gone 6-9. after a huge start, after like an 11-5 start. So yeah, you got a chance to make some money if you play this week and get a little bit of credit. All you have to do is beat me, and then of course you can all. I think the winner is going to win, real money too. So Jim, I gave you the point spreads that we have in our contest this week. They're not exactly the point spreads that are available at bookmaker.eu, which is where you would actually play the games, right? But that's because in the contest we make them all half point spreads, so there are no pushes. So I gave you those spreads, and I just basically said, hey, pick 3 that you feel the best about. So it doesn't have to be in any order, but give me one that you feel good about.
I just can't believe they're disrespecting Sam Darnold this way.
You're going to take the Jets plus 10.5.
Okay, so there's a rule. It's like one of those inside Vegas rules that if the line is within 1 of how many kids Phillip Rivers has, then you take the points, and that's the case here. So Phillip Rivers is giving 11. And I just can't even if this guy has nannies, I can't imagine how much like Caillou this guy has watched. It's like that's why he's throwing so many interceptions. So I would take the points, and only because I'm not sure the Colts are this good. They're probably fine, but I just think it's really easy to cover 10.5 on a backdoor.
Yeah, it's really easy
backdoor
cover 10.5.
Touchdown.
I'm on the Jets. Jets didn't make my list for the 3 I feel best about, but I'm on the Jets there too. It's just too many points. So okay, my first one, I'm gonna go Chargers. In this iteration, we have Chargers giving 6.5 to Carolina, and I think they're better off with Justin Herbert at quarterback. Maybe that's one game I might wind up looking foolish for having said that, but it's just a more dynamic, swashbuckling kind of situation. The 2 games couldn't have been more starkly contrasted, and frankly, they played a better opponent in the week 2 than they did in week 1. And you got no McCaffrey, and that doesn't feel baked into the line at all, so I'm going to give the 6.5.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, so just to say, I kind of like that.
What do you got next?
Okay, next, I'm sure this is difficult for me to do, but I'm going to take points with the Cowboys.
Oh boy, man! You sure you don't want to bet on the Celtics? Because those, hatred.
I know.
Yeah,
I could do a parlay and just hope for, hope for the Bruins to all post something regrettable on Twitter. I have no idea. I want everybody to do poorly in Boston, but I want Dallas. I think Dallas keeps this game close. It's right on that level where I think it's a field goal game and it's too many points.
It's 4.5. In our contest is 4.5. That's right. I think the last time I checked on Bookmaker, it was actually 5. So we're so you should play this. You should go to bookmaker.eu and actually play the 5 as well. We're actually giving Seattle an extra half point in the contest, but I think I'm on Seattle there, so I think I'm on the other side because I usually am on Seattle. That's just the way it works. I will take Kyler Murray, and I will take. It was a tie game the last time they played. I believe DeAndre Hopkins did not play for the Cardinals that time. Kenny Golladay be back? Okay, it's 5.5 that I have to give. This is a vote for me saying that the Lions just are that bad.
I can see that. The Lions don't seem great. My last game is I'm giving the points this time with Tampa.
Me too. That's my third game too. So talk about it.
Yeah, I just feel like
Oh, I'm on the other side. Sorry, I'm on the other side. I'm taking Denver. You're taking Tampa.
You're Denver.
So we're fighting it out.
Yes, we are. I just feel like they've left a lot of points in the field with Tampa. Like, I don't know, Tom Brady showed up and everybody has like 9 thumbs. Like, there's just a lot of bad drops. He's been playing actually better than I think maybe what the numbers say. And he's been, more importantly, I think this Tampa Bay defense is somewhat solid. They have a pass rush and Jeff Driscoll. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Jeff Driscoll is really the big hitching point for me. You know what this comes down to? I understand a lot of what you're saying logic wise. I think there's probably some truth to it. They played bad against the Saints. They played better last week, but it was a pretty bad opponent. Here's what everybody's struggling with, and I don't have an answer because nobody has an answer. But what's home field worth?
Right.
That's really the question, because if you like, normally you would say 3 points. That's kind of always been the consensus. Maybe the consensus has felt like it's dipped down to maybe 2.5. Some people have said, and okay, do you want to call it 2 now because it's travel, but it's luxury travel, and I don't know. It's not a lot of noise, obviously, but boy, the line actually on Bookmaker, not in our contest. Last time I looked, last night was 6. And so what do you want to? And in our contest, it's 5.5. So what do you want to tell me? These teams are on a neutral field. Are you? We would typically say at Denver, if a road team was 5.5 point favorite or a 6 point favorite, we'd say, wow, they're 8.5 to 9 points better. And I don't think. But so I would say if it were a normal year, I don't think Tampa Bay is 8.5 or 9 points better than Denver. They're better, but I'm not sure I agree they're 8.5 or 9 points. And
it could be a little bit of public sentiment too. Yeah, like trying to get on the
Brady bandwagon.
Thing. Yeah,
but also you could also say though, no, I'm going to say that home field's worth 1 point. Well, okay. Now if you're telling me on a neutral field that Tampa Bay's like 6.5 or 7 points better, I go okay. That's a reasonable position to take. Yeah,
maybe that's the case in this new meaning without the noise being the factor, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know how to quantify that, but that's part of it. Is that this line fits within a 1 touchdown kind of gap, which I think is what this could be. So,
well, yeah, I mean that's why I'm going to take Denver.
That's the math. That's the math. Yeah,
you're making my point. Okay, well, so there you go. Those are our best bets. But what do you think? Go to bookmakercontest.com. Everybody who plays this week, you're playing for the prize, and first prize is like 20-something% of the pot, and then it goes down to, I don't know, we're usually it seems like we're paying between 10 and 15-ish spots in the group. I hope the group grows, so maybe we'll start paying more because we'll have more money in the kitty. But it's only $5 to play each week. You can play whatever week you want, and this week only. At least so far only. They might keep it up. But if you beat me, you're going to get $10 credited to your Bookmaker account. Go to bookmakercontest.com. Bookmaker's like a very, very big sports book. I know I've had BetDSI for years. Bookmaker's orders of magnitude bigger. They set the market. They take big bets. They're the true, sort of that they are the ones with probably the sharpest lines, which maybe I shouldn't be telling you to play there if they've got really sharp lines, but they do. It's a really good operation. So go to bookmakercontest.com, play in this, play at Bookmaker. That's where I am. Jim, that's going to do it for you today. Thank you very much for coming on and substituting. I thought you did well. Josh is hopefully not going to listen to this because the Kenyon Drake endorsement is going to make him sad, but otherwise you did great. You can find Jim on Twitter at _Jimmy McCormick.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening. I'll get to your snarky email in just a moment. Let's thank today's sponsors as well. Remember them? Manscaped. If you're looking for some below-the-belt grooming, you kind of should be. It's a pretty good product. I do use it. We had Lisa, and of course we did, I just mentioned, have the Bookmaker Contest. Check it out, bookmakercontest.com. It really is great if you support the sponsors. That's how this show works. It is here through the largesse of advertisers, and the reason they keep coming back is that you do support them and use their promo codes and URLs. If you don't have the means, I totally understand it. If you do, and there's a sponsor that appeals to you a little bit, you can find a full list at harrisfootball.com. It really does help because no one's paying me a salary. This is entirely an advertising arrangement, so when the sponsors come back, that's how you know this show will keep going on.
Time for your snarky email.
'Cause it's just a Harris Snarkbag, baby. Might have a sport wedding, daytime lady. Possibly photos of random babies.
Well, I think I got one. It wasn't a baby. I got a toddler girly picture for today's mailbag. It was fun. You can send all of your toddler girly photos and ancillary humorous observations about how stupid I am and the show is to heyharris@harrisfootball.com. Please let me know where you're writing from. Samuel Cohen from Parts Unknown. Hey, Harris, can you add shoe size to the almanac next year? The ESPN announcers have been making a point of discussing Jerry Jeudy's large feet while showing footage of his cone drills. This is apparently from week 1. I'm a little behind. I look forward to knowing which player in next week's game has the largest feet and who, other than Von Miller, has watched the Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix. Also, I would like to find out which players' feet are excessively hairy, as I am a Tolkien fan and will move players up my draft board if they enjoy second breakfast, 11 C's, and afternoon tea. Yeah, that was almost a crossover. I guess you could use your Manscaped on your feet, too. I don't know. Maybe people in Tolkien novels. Nate Cassello from Jersey City, New Jersey. Hey, Harris, I wanted to advise you of an important newcomer to the English Premier League with Harris Football Podcast crossover. Southampton has a midfielder who is named William Smallbone. Not sure if he is actually related to Christian McCaffrey. However, he certainly lives up to his own moniker with a listed height and weight of 5'3" and 134 pounds. When I told my friend and fellow listener, he thought Smallbone